Yeah, Madeline, employees are stunned. They closed up shop Thursday, fully expecting to come back to work the next day. But that same evening, they got an email stating that they were out of a job, effective immediately.
Right now, at this very moment, something is happening in Seattle that nobody is talking about. Picture this. It's 6 a.m. in Seattle's neighborhood. The smell of fresh bagels is already drifting out onto the street. It's the same smell this block has known for 25 years. Same ovens, same recipes, same regulars pulling open the door before the rest of the city is even awake. That's not a chain. That's not a corporate outpost. That's a community institution. And then on a Thursday evening in March, every single employee gets an email. Effective immediately. Done. All 5 locations. Gone. No warning. No severance. No goodbye. Workers who had just upgraded equipment, just trained new hires, just upgraded their kitchens in preparation for expansion, found out they no longer had jobs by reading a message on their phones. And here's what should stop you cold. This isn't a story about one small business failing. This is a story about what's left when an entire city decides that surviving is your problem. Because Blazing Bagels didn't just disappear into thin air. It collapsed into a city that had spent years building conditions that make survival almost impossible. And the woman running Seattle right now? When businesses leave, her answer is essentially one word. Bye.
So I had to play that video clip there to set the table, right? Because Seattle is in crisis right now. I mean, it's been in crisis for quite some time. It's been steadily spinning the toilet, spinning the drain, so to speak. But now it is, I mean, it's basically in the pipes already. Okay, it is basically in the pipes, and I mean the mass exodus from Seattle is absolutely mind-boggling, and their leadership is absolutely terrible. As you saw there, Katie, if I remember correctly, her name is, she's the new mayor to run Seattle, and she's doing an absolutely, I'm gonna keep it PG. She's pretty garbage, okay? She's pretty darn garbage, to say the least. And now city officials or city residents are really starting to complain about things, including the crime. Check it out.
Shooting after shooting and human trafficking. It's a story we've been following for months. People who live near Aurora Avenue say they are fed up. Today, the city of Seattle held a community event to discuss the future of the North Aurora corridor. Fox 13's Shira Matsuzawa has the story.
Some neighbors tell me they are concerned and frustrated, which is what brought them to this meeting here today. Signs like these were on display Saturday at a community gathering to discuss the future of the North Aurora corridor. One asking neighbors what makes them feel safe in the area. Another asking about challenges.
There's shootouts every night.
For Julia Cisco, who lives a block and a half away from Aurora Avenue, safety is top of mind, and the shootings are now impacting her family visits.
They live in California and just called me and told me they aren't coming to visit because of this.
Julia came to Saturday's event hoping to see a representative from the mayor's office or city council.
Police officers are here, but nobody who's a voting person who can make a decision.
Organizers say Saturday's event is a collaboration between different city departments, but they understand the community concerns.
This is our opportunity really to be in dialogue with community and think about, or hear from community what they think would make them feel safe.
They add that's one of the focuses, but not the only focus.
We also are thinking about things like small businesses, economic development, what kinds of housing options are available to people, what the roads and streets look like.
But for Mary Hannah Smith, the gun violence is a main concern.
I have a toddler and I'm not really comfortable taking her along Aurora Avenue. It makes me feel really bad for the local business owners down there.
She would like the city to take a more active stance in addressing the violence and human trafficking.
I think that their current plan of shutting down streets is great because that's what some people in the neighborhood really want to see, but I don't think that gets at the root of the issue.
Julia agrees. Something more needs to be done.
I'd like them to help the working ladies, to get them help if they need it. And if they don't want it, because they're being fed drugs and things from their pimps, then I think we need to make it illegal like Shoreline did.
Shira Matsuzawa, Fox 13 News.
So some of the folks who were supposed to be there to help didn't even bother showing up. Incredible. Incredible. Probably because they didn't want to be questioned. And I actually talked about this. I don't remember if it was on this channel or on the Extra Rich channel. By the way, go subscribe to my second channel. It is called Extra Rich. The link is down below in the description box. All right. But yeah, I talked about this because recently they decided to start putting up barricades on certain city streets, on certain residential streets, to like block off, I guess, people from, criminals from driving
Broke
down
out along
their
Aurora.
streets. And it's just like, why not just arrest the people that are doing the crime? I don't understand. But hey, this is what they wanted, I guess. This is what they wanted. So here we are again, and now they are doing something else that's pretty pointless, and that is marching. Check it out.
New at 11, a massive march for change. A huge crowd of residents took over Aurora Avenue this evening, fed up with crime in their neighborhood. So glad you're with us. Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Esteban. This evening, residents, businesses, even some city leaders march for change, and they demand action in the wake of recent violence. Violence they say they have been dealing with off and on for 2 whole years. KOMO's Tyler Cunnington has been tracking this story for us. He joins me now live with more. Tyler.
Yeah, well, Michelle, there were a few hundred people in attendance marching tonight, all of them just so sick and tired of the recent shootings, and they say a lot of that is stemmed from human trafficking, sex trafficking that happens here along the avenue, and the gun violence that then happens as a result of it spilling into their neighborhoods. What that looks like is just a few examples is a father saying a bullet went into his weeks-old infant's bedroom. Other people's homes hit by gunfire, their vehicles as well. Now, there were both current and former city council members in attendance tonight, as well as the...
So keep this in mind. You heard that. Bullets are hitting homes, going into children's bedrooms, and their response is city barricades or residential street barricades and marching.
City attorney Erica Evans and the King County prosecuting attorney, they were all, I saw all of those people speaking with residents who have those concerns tonight. But what many people were frustrated about was not seeing the mayor, Katie Wilson, here herself.
And I think it's unfortunate that she's not being able to be here, but I think the message needs to be to her office that we're ready to see a concrete action plan.
We're really out here demanding action. It's as simple as that, from King County, from the city of Seattle, and from the state at this point, because it's really scary.
We're still awaiting a response from the mayor's office on her absence tonight. Meanwhile, here's a look at that crowd streaming down Aurora Avenue with the help of an SPD escort. Many cars passing by honking in support of the signs and the large banner that was out front of the group. Now, prior to marching, that large group of people gathered here near the pedestrian bridge at 102nd Street, passionately airing out their experiences with the gun violence recently and their frustrations with city leadership, demanding for safety within their neighborhoods before those very elected officials I mentioned earlier. That includes City Councilman Bob Kettle, who is the Public Safety Committee chair. We asked him some of the main questions that we've heard from residents beforehand. A lot of people talk about how just blocks away there is the police precinct, but then having these things happening so close to them, what does the work look like with SPD to try to improve the situation here?
You know, this goes to like one of the key elements of the work that we've been doing over the last couple of years is increased SPD staffing. It is so key. We have to reach our goal, 1,258 officers by the end of the year. We need to keep this momentum. But you know why? Because this allows to bring the detectives out of the patrol, letting them do the work that's needed to really take care of these networks.
Kettle called what people have been dealing with here unacceptable. He spoke for several minutes over the microphone to all of that crowd. He said the city's been treading water trying to address Aurora's problems in the recent years. He adds that he's working with Councilmember Deborah Juarez on drafting legislation. She represents this very area. He adds that it will take a cohesive effort by prosecutors, the county, and even the state to make real progress on sex trafficking in this corridor. Now, the King County Prosecutor's Office...
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, when their solution to crime was residential barricades and marching the streets. Bro, why do Democrats think that is like the solution to everything? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go protest. I'm gonna go march in the streets. Bro, like, are we living in the 1940s or what? Like, I'm confused. Bro, it's like they're stuck in the 40s. Like, nobody cares about your little marching. Nobody cares. You're marching down the street does not change crime, because as soon as y'all leave them streets, the crime is coming right back. As soon as y'all done with y'all little march up and down the street, all that crime is coming right back. As a matter of fact, if you stay there long enough, it might happen with you there regardless. This is absolutely silly. And then they continually vote for these Democrats, but then they're mad when their city streets are filled with filth, sex trafficking, violence. Bullets are going through their homes and their cars and their children's bedrooms, and they're sitting there wondering why. And it's like, look at who you're voting for. Duh. Like, this isn't rocket science. I haven't even talked about the mass exodus of businesses across Seattle. I only mentioned one at the very beginning. Businesses have been fleeing Seattle like crazy, and you know what's going to happen, because this is what these liberals do, right? They tax, or well, first they spend until they realize, oh crap, we ain't got no more money. Then they tax. Oh yeah, we go tax the rich. We go tax the wealthy, and then the wealthy starts leaving, and then they leave some more, and then they leave some more. And now all of that revenue that was generated from this business, that business, this individual, these office buildings, being occupied. Now all of that revenue is gone. But you've done the budget, you've made the budget, but it was based on being able to tax these individuals. That was part of the budget. So now these individuals are gone. So now what do? You tax the very people that you said you weren't going to tax. The very people that can't even afford it. You raise, this happened in Chicago. Not even kidding. I think I talked about this on the second channel, on Extra Rich, a while back. Raised property taxes on some individuals by 100%. Citywide, I believe it was like 17% property taxes went up. Almost 20% citywide property taxes went up. Almost 20%. But in some places, it went up 100%. 100. Because businesses are leaving these liberal bro, at this rate, liberal cities, liberal states, these blue states and blue cities are going to have nothing left. Nothing. It's only going to be in the red states where businesses go and thrive and flourish, where all the big economies are, and nothing will be left in these blue states. That's the route it's going, right? I may talk about what's going on in Jersey on the second channel as well. Make sure you guys go and subscribe. But like Seattle, I believe it was Starbucks that left Seattle and is moving to, guess what? Texas. You know where Jeff Bezos left to? Florida. So like, this is what they vote for, I guess. I don't know, man. But it's just mind-boggling crazy to sit here and watch this stuff happen. And I'm like, yo, it is so obvious why you're dealing with what you're dealing with. Stop voting for Democrats. If you started voting for America First Republicans, all of that crime would disappear. You know why? Because they would arrest the individuals, and those individuals wouldn't get back out. And you'd have safe streets. You wouldn't have to put barricades up on your residential streets to try to stop people from having, rolling gunfights going down the street. You wouldn't have to worry about bullets flying through your children's bedroom walls. Just wouldn't be a thing. But hey, to each his own, I guess. If that's how they want to live, I don't know. Y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.